I can speak now to the Palestinian ambassador to the UK, Husam Zomlot. Good morning, Mr. Zomlot. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, can I just ask you, what is the mood in north of Israel amongst Palestinians after this week's explosions, the pager explosions and so on?
Good morning, Trevor. The mood all over Palestine in the region is that Israel, Netanyahu, and the composition, with the failure of the international community, is expanding the war, and they are absolutely just waiting for the worst. Nobody is expecting things to de-escalate. A ceasefire deal was on the table for the last 4 months, a Security Council resolution for that matter, and simply Netanyahu has refused all these offers. And I think it is well documented now that the Israeli government has not only changed the goalpost when it came to the negotiations about a ceasefire, but the whole pitch all together. So everybody is hurt, is worried, is concerned, is really bleeding, and everybody is embracing for the worst, unfortunately.
When you say everybody's waiting for the worst, what is the worst?
That Israel will continue unleashing the only option they have, which is mass violence against the Palestinian people and the people of the region. I mean, I've just followed some of your interview with the Israeli president. It's very unfortunate. It's so chronic. It tells you all what you need to know, that the problem is not Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben Gvir and the current government. The problem is way structural in Israel. I was listening to a security spokesman rather than a president who would really give a way out of this tragedy, out of this mayhem, and provide a peace vision for all concerned. Leave the propaganda about babies beheaded and raped to the security spokespeople, but a president, and this is the issue that needs to be discussed. Trevor,
just to be clear, that some of those things did happen.
Trevor, that has got to be vetted by international institutions, by the UN and by courts. And I tell you, until now, nothing whatsoever have been confirmed as per the Israeli propaganda. But you have followed all the UN reports about Israeli rape inside Israeli prisons of Palestinian detainees. And by the way, that was the base of why the British government took the legal decision to stop some of the arms trade, which is incomplete. It should have been full arms embargo, because of Israeli soldiers raping Palestinian prisoners in Israeli prisons. However, that's not the propaganda. Is not the job of a president. Future is, and how do we move from this rather tragic moment that is affecting everybody, Trevor? And you know what? You have discussed with him, and you've been discussing this issue, but absent from all this discussion is the actual issue. He tells you a few minutes ago that imagine if Brighton or Bournemouth is attacked. You should have pushed back immediately and tell him that Britain does not occupy Bournemouth or Brighton, does not colonize Bournemouth or Brighton, does not besiege the people there. So absent from all this discussion is the heart of the matter, the root cause of all this. And how do we visit? Do we have a plan, Trevor? Does Israel have a plan, and do we have a plan? And does Britain and the rest of the world?
We have discussed that point with Israeli spokespeople before. But I just want to get from your reaction to Herzog, because it's well known Herzog is no great friend of Netanyahu. Did his stance surprise you?
Absolutely. He was today not only a spokesman for Netanyahu, he was a spokesman for the extreme right-wing mindset that has one thing in their ideology for a long time: preclude any Palestinian political or national rights, maintain a permanent occupation, overstress security. And Trevor, you and I has got to agree on one premise before we go on. Security is an outcome of peace. And if we agree that security is only an outcome of peace, so we have got to be busy discussing peace. What I heard from Herzog today is just a repeat of decades-long insistence that Israel can enjoy full security without fulfilling the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. And that's exactly what struck me today and every day, that this isn't just about Netanyahu. it has gone into an entire society that thinks that they can actually keep doing this for eternity without any consequences. And then Herzog complains, and some of your own guests here, that Britain has taken the very small step of saying that international law has got to be respected. You've heard the British Prime Minister in the Parliament a couple of weeks ago saying that this government takes international law seriously. And then here, your role, Trevor, your role to push back against the practice of war that is happening in Gaza.
Ambassador, I'll do the interviews the way I want to do them, but just let me quickly ask you, last 20 seconds, are you less hopeful after you've heard that interview, or is it the same?
No, I'm just more convinced. It's not about hope. Hope is filling my heart because of our people and the steadfastness, because of the solidarity of the international community. You've seen the thousands, the hundreds of thousands, the millions all over the world. You've seen Liverpool only yesterday, tens of thousands. What is happening in the UN, the International Court of Justice ruling that all this is unlawful and must end. And Trevor, last sentence. Please push back when it comes to international law. What Israel done in Gaza and now in Lebanon are all war crimes.
Okay. Ambassador, be sure we'll do our job. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.